Section 20 of Selected Letters of Beethoven. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Scott D. Farquhar. Selected Letters, numbers 42, 167, 168, 228, 229, 230, and 255, by Ludwig van Beethoven, as compiled and with footnotes by Dr. Ludwig Noel, and translated by Lady Grace Wallace. Letter number 42. Testimonial for C. Czerny. Vienna, December 7, 1805. I, the undersigned, am glad to bear testimony to young Karl Czerny having made the most extraordinary progress on the pianoforte, far beyond what might be expected at the age of 14. I consider him deserving of all possible assistance, not only from what I have already referred to, but from his astonishing memory, and more especially from his parents having spent all their means in cultivating the talent of their promising son. Ludwig van Beethoven. End of letter number 42. Letter number 167. To Czerny. Footnote 1. My dear Czerny, pray give the enclosed to your parents for the dinners the boy had recently at your house. I positively will not accept these gratis. Moreover, I am very far from wishing that your lessons should remain without remuneration. Even those already given must be reckoned up and paid for. Only I beg you to have a little patience for a time, as nothing can be demanded from the widow, and I had and still have heavy expenses to defray. But I borrow from you for the moment only. The boy is to be with you today, and I shall come later. Your friend, Beethoven. Footnote 1. Karl Czerny, the celebrated pianist and composer for whom Beethoven wrote a testimonial in 1805. See number 42. He gave lessons to Beethoven's nephew in 1815 and naturally protested against any payment, which gave rise to the expressions on the subject in many of his notes to Czerny, of which there appear to be a great number. End of letter number 167. Letter number 168. To Czerny. Footnote 1. Vienna, February 12, 1816. Dear Czerny, I cannot see you today, but I will call tomorrow, being desirous to talk to you. I spoke out so bluntly yesterday that I much regretted it afterwards. But you must forgive this on the part of an author who would have preferred hearing his work as he wrote it, however charmingly you played it. I will, however, amply atone for this by the violoncello sonata. Footnote 2. Rest assured that I cherish the greatest regard for you as an artist, and I shall always endeavor to prove this. Your true friend, Beethoven. Footnote 1. Czerny in the A.M. Zeitung, 1845, relates, on one occasion, in 1812, at Szczepanik's concert, when playing Beethoven's quintet with wind instruments, I took the liberty, in my youthful levity, to make many alterations, such as introducing difficulties into the passages, making use of the upper octaves, etc., etc. Beethoven sternly and deservedly reproached me for this in the presence of Szczepanik, Linke, and the other performers. Footnote 2. Opus 69, which Czerny, see A.M. Zeitung, was to perform with Linke the following week. End of letter number 168. Letter number 228. To Czerny. Dear Czerny, I beg you will treat Karl with as much patience as possible, for though he does not as yet get on quite as you and I could wish, still I fear he will soon do even less, because, though I do not want him to know it, he is over-fatigued by the injudicious distribution of his lesson hours. Unluckily, it is not easy to alter this, so pray, however strict you may be, show him every indulgence, which will, I am sure, have also a better effect on Karl under such unfavorable circumstances. With respect to his playing with you, when he has finally acquired the proper mode of fingering and plays in right time and gives the notes with tolerable correctness, you must only then first direct his attention to the mode of execution, and when he is sufficiently advanced, do not stop his playing on account of little mistakes, but only point them out at the end of the piece. Although I have myself given very little instruction, I have always followed this system, which quickly forms a musician. And this is, after all, one of the first objects of art, and less fatiguing both to master and scholar. In certain passages, like the following, I wish all the fingers to be used, and also in similar ones, such as these. So that they may go very smoothly. Such passages can indeed be made to sound very perlé, or like a pearl played by fewer fingers, but sometimes we wish for a different kind of jewel. Footnote 1. More as to this some other time. I hope that you will receive these suggestions in the same kindly spirit in which they are offered and intended. In any event, I am, and ever must remain, your debtor. May my candor serve as a pledge of my wish to discharge this debt at some future day. Your true friend, Beethoven. Footnote 1. Karl Czerny relates in the Vienna A.M. Zeitung of 1845, number 113, as follows. Beethoven came to me usually every day himself with the boy, and used to say to me, "You must not think that you please me by making Karl play my works. I am not so childish as to wish anything of the kind. Give him whatever you think best." I named Clementi. "Yes, yes," said he, "Clementi is very good indeed." And, added he, laughing, "Give Karl occasionally what is according to rule, that he may hereafter come to what is contrary to rule." After a hit of this sort, which he introduced into almost every speech, he used to burst into a loud peal of laughter. Having in the earlier part of his career been often reproached by the critics with his irregularities, he was in the habit of alluding to this with gay humor. End of letter number 228. Letter number 229, to Czerny. Dear Czerny, I beg you will say nothing on that particular subject at Giannatasio's, who dined with us on the day you were so good as to call on me. He requested this himself. I will tell you the reason when we meet. I hope to be able to prove my gratitude for your patience with my nephew, that I may not always remain your debtor. In haste, your friend, Beethoven. End of letter number 229. Letter number 230, to Czerny. Dear Czerny, can you in any way assist the man I now send to you, a pianoforte maker and tuner from Baden, in selling his instruments? Though small in size, their manufacture is solid. In haste, your friend, Beethoven. End of letter number 230. Letter number 255, to Czerny. My dear, good, kind Czerny. Footnote 1. I have this moment heard that you are in a position I really never suspected. You might certainly place confidence in me and point out how matters could be made better for you, without any pretensions to patronage on my part. As soon as I have a moment to myself, I must speak to you. Rest assured that I highly value you, and am prepared to prove this at any moment by deeds. Yours with sincere esteem, L. von Beethoven. Footnote 1. Zellner, in his Blatter für Musik, relates what follows on Czerny's own authority. In 1818, Czerny was requested by Beethoven in a letter, which he presented some years ago to Cox, the London music publisher, to play at one of his last concerts in the large Redutensaal, his E-flat major concerto, opus 73. Czerny answered, in accordance with the truth, that having gained his livelihood entirely for many years past by giving lessons on the piano for more than 12 hours daily, he had so completely laid aside his pianoforte playing that he could not venture to attempt playing the concerto properly within the course of a few days, which Beethoven desired, on which he received, in the above letter, a touching proof of Beethoven's sympathy. He also learned subsequently that Beethoven had exerted himself to procure him a permanent situation. End of letter number 255. End of section 20 of Selected Letters of Beethoven, as compiled and with footnotes by Dr. Ludwig Noel and translated by Lady Grace Wallace. Recording by Scott D. Farquhar. Baltimore, Maryland, www.splungemusic.com.